Welcome! Welcome to the Home Office Talks. Today we talk about design. There are so many inspiring quotes about the relevance of design, so just let me share one of my favorites from the late Steve Jobs. Design is not just what it looks like and what it feels like. Design is how it works. So, creating design that works and drives sustainable development is the topic of today's Home Office Talk. And we have the honor of having Kristen tapping with us. She is this year's winner of Design in Plastics competition and a former product design student from London South Bank University. She won the competition with her environmentally friendly bicycle wheel, which incorporates pollution filters using the movement of the wheel to purify the air while riding the bike. Simple ingenuity, if you ask me, but we'll be hearing soon all about it and we'll be able to see it. Covestro has been the lead sponsor of the Design in Plastics competition for years. This competition is Europe's longest running student competition, specifically for plastics. And that's since 1985. And I was thinking about 1985, that's the year when Polaroid instant camera, the predecessor of Instagram, was at its peak. So that's a really long time running competition. The Design in Plastics competition gives students from universities throughout the UK an opportunity to hone their product design skills and of course helps Covestro connect with the next generation of young designers for a more sustainable future. The award for 2021 is up, by the way, so check out the Design in Plastics website. And from Covestro, we invite Rebecca Heil from our Innovation Excellence team. Rebecca is an active supporter of the competition and has been part of the Covestro team following Kristen's product. Rebecca is passionate, I know herself. She's very passionate about design and she has spoken about these topics in the Design in Plastics competitions earlier, and she's helping Kristen and the competition runner-ups to develop their products. In her day job, Rebecca supports Covestro's nearly 17,000 potential innovators with processes, tools, and amazing networks. As always, I look very much forward to your comments, questions, and protests during this live broadcast. So please write them down below and we'll get to them soon. So let's open the lines to sunny London and rainy Düsseldorf. Can we hear you guys?
Yeah, we're here.
I can hear you.
Wonderful. The lines are open. Thanks for you both for joining us today. And I'll start with you, Kristen. Firstly, many congratulations on winning the Design Innovation in Plastics competition. Can you tell us a little bit more about your idea of purifying the air via cycling?
Sure, thank you, Nico. As you well said, it's quite simple. It's using the inherent motion and rotation of a bicycle wheel that someone pedals and moves forward to plug in an air filter.
Just checking that we have a good stream to the outside. This is the wonders of streaming online, which always happens from time to time. Let me just check that we have good line. You should be able to see me now on the studio. I'm just checking that we can continue. Fantastic. So, sorry folks, these are the wonders of live broadcasting. Sometimes things just happen and we have to restart the system at our part. So, sorry Kristen for interrupting you. Let's go back and start with you explaining your idea about the cycle that purifies the air. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Oh, sure. Should I just go back over?
Yeah, please start from the beginning.
Sorry if I'm repeating myself. So the technology is quite basic. It's using established technologies and putting them all together in a bicycle wheel. You're looking at centrifugal force, which has existed for a long time now, and basic air filters that you would use in your home. So then the tricky part is putting it in a moving object, fitting it within the parameters of a bike, shielding it from the outside elements, including weather, theft, different temperatures, So the iteration that you saw or that you will see that's public is only the first iteration. I'm currently developing the engineering further to optimize airflow and to make it actually usable in real environments. And that's just private at the moment, just for IP reasons. Mm-hmm. So ideally, if Rollo, I'm optimizing the airflow as much as possible, but if 10% of bikes in London used Rollo, it would cover approximately 1 kilometer squared in a 2 meter high space, which is about 30 times traffic hour square if we put a big box around it.
Cool. And now I think we managed to put the wonderful animation up on screen where you kind of can see the physics of the idea. So thanks, Kristen. Rebecca, and it's great to have you on Home Office Talks. I followed your amazing work with the universities and, of course, students. So, Rebecca, can you share why it's important from your point of view to link up with young entrepreneurs from all around the world and talk about product designs and materials?
Sure. Yeah, first of all, thank you very much, Nico, for having me here and for inviting me to your pretty famous Home Office Talks. As you mentioned, I already did lots of collaborations with students, but I'd like to focus on one topic that Kristen already mentioned, and that is something that is taking part in our daily lives more and more, which is sustainability. And specifically, I would like to dive deep on one reason why it's super important also in the future to keep on collaborating and keep on connecting with young designers and smart entrepreneurs, and this is circular economy. Because you all know that we're facing a big global challenge. This is overconsumption of raw materials. And also Covestro has decided to contribute and to bring in one of the puzzle pieces that are needed to one day make circular economy real. But yes, we are a chemical company and we cannot resolve this problem on our own. We really need to team up with other companies, with end users, with designers, entrepreneurs, and so on to really work hand in hand to optimize products for circularity and to make or to bring plastics products in our case to the circle and to go around the circle. And with everybody along such a future, not value chain anymore, but value circle, we need to optimize products, we need to optimize materials, logistics, processes, etc. and so on. And we can only do this in a close cooperation by understanding each other and collaborating with each other. And the time is over that we can make such big goals and targets real by our own. And this is why I strongly believe in the benefits of collaboration with young talents like Kristen in the future.
And there are certainly talents in the universities, and they even grow bigger as they as they graduate. And by the way, dear audience, make sure that you write questions down below if you have any throughout the dialogue. Kristen, your product is obviously supporting the environment, but can you tell us more about the materials you've selected and what criteria you have placed on this selection in regards to sustainability?
Sure. Thanks, Nico. So it's not very easy to just go and pick out the most sustainable material that you can think, because you have a lot of restrictions. It has to be lightweight. It has to be manufacturable in the shape needed. It has to pass UV test, extreme weather test, rain. I mean, so many parameters. So at first I was thinking of nylon, which tends to be pretty much the strongest plastic. However, I think I worked in depth with Covestro as they have more innovative solutions, possibly combinations of plastics that can one, provide the necessary elements for the actual wheel, but also be quite sustainable. And I think, as Rebecca said, so it's not just about when making a sustainable product just reusing recyclable or recycled plastics. It's also about thinking of where the whole life cycle of that product, the circular economy. So where does it come from? How much is it going to get used? Will it break along the way? Is it repairable? For me, the filters inside are a big thing as well. Most filters get discarded. So I have to set up a whole service around washing or even baking the filters that resets them to normal. Looking at how I can reuse the end products, how will I get it from the consumer in the end? So it's not just one product, it's a whole family of things around it.
And it's a fairly complex ecosystem of recycling anyway. I mean, this is where many people are just now thinking on how to build the ecosystem in a way that nothing gets lost along the material journey. Rebecca, your innovation excellence team at Covestro is always busy. I know this, looking at future innovation trends and nurturing the innovation culture of Covestro. And of course, not everybody can be the next Johnny Ive, referring to British designers amongst us. But now, and you've said this, everybody can be an innovator. And I know you're working to spark that potential. So Rebecca, can you tell us a little bit about your idea.lab concept and how this is encouraging employees to develop their own ideas?
Yeah, I'd love to. Unfortunately, it's not encouraging them yet because it hasn't opened yet. But we're very close to the opening. The Idea Lab will be located in the new Covestro campus building that you see here on the picture. It will open doors soon after really several years of planning and construction work. And in the ground floor, in the northern part of this building, we have a Idea Lab, and it's a huge collaboration and co-creation space that offers room that hasn't been accessible within Covestro before, because we have very flexible and open workshop and co-working rooms that really invite everybody to work there in a collaboratively and in a jointly manner. We have a leitmotif for the Idea Lab, a motto, which is inspire, connect, and create. And this is also how we want to curate the space as soon as it's opened. With events and exhibitions, in addition to the natural or normal bookings that will happen in the room as soon as it's open. And here we really have the vision to create a very attractive meeting point where innovative minds from within Covestro, but also from beyond Covestro can meet and can exchange. And I really hope to create many coincidences there where people meet each other who are like-minded, who share the same interests, who really can give each other valuable feedback, can open doors and share networks with each other. So in order to really nurture one of the most valuable resources that a company like Covestro has, the ideas of our employees. Nevertheless, we all know we're here on the Home Office Talks and we're facing a pandemic. So right now, we will not be able to open the doors of the Idea Lab and inspire, connect, and create with each other face to face. So it's still remaining the challenge of our team to create those moments of serendipity in the virtual world. And as soon as we can open doors safely, I'm really looking forward to make the Idea Lab even better.
Cool. I lost you there for a couple of seconds. Friday seems to be a difficult day for the internet, but it's certainly exciting because I think the environment that surrounds you and the environment that inspires you is a big component of what makes you spark, what makes you think, what makes you innovate. And this is maybe coming question back to Kristen, because I mean, Kristen, I look at your track record and it surely looks like you're winning international design competitions as a breakfast. I've lost count on how many you've won by now. So certainly you have been visiting inspiring places to get where you are already at your young age. So what is it that drives you to succeed? And is there any particular sector you are keen on breaking into?
Sure. I think one is purely competitive eagerness. I will compete for a pair of movie tickets, let alone a big prize such as the ones that competitions give you. The other one is I had to support myself through school, so it was either go find a waitressing job or try some competitions. I got lucky because I just had some time off and tried a competition and actually won it. And then a second one, I think I placed second. And so I thought, oh, I'm actually kind of good at this. I'll try more and more and more. And it just snowballed from there. So it was a purely survival mode for a while. And the last, I think, aspect of it is I really like the problem solving aspect of product design. I mean, at one point I was designing a hot water boiler, and I have never touched a hot water boiler like many people in the audience. You just don't touch it because it'll break.
Unless it breaks, yeah.
Unless it breaks. And then you call someone. Like, how am I going to design something for that? But through market research, talking to experts, I actually was able to design something and win that challenge. So it's really fun for me.
And and I think it takes courageous people like you to kind of show the way on what's possible and how you can redesign and re-innovate things which have not maybe thought enough anymore. My water boiler in Finland broke just a while ago, and I can tell you it was not a fun experience. So Rebecca, you have supported students from around the world, whether it's via competitions like this or through hands-on science experiences. I've seen you done that. Why is Covestro placing so much emphasis on future generations?
Yeah, that's true. It's happening a lot, and I think what's really great that Covestro is a global company, and we can offer lots of different experiences and options for collaborations close to all the main sites that Covestro has around the globe. Just maybe to name a few examples.
Yeah.
Did you also lose my audio, or
no, this is fine.
Continue?
Just give
we got your audio.
A second.
Perfect. No, maybe to finish up with a special one that's also a bit close to my heart. That's the ice hockey makeathon in Pittsburgh.
Just give me a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to go. Go ahead,
Yes.
Rebecca.
This is a very special thing because it's a 1 week challenge and a collaboration between Covestro in Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Penguins ice hockey team, which is for those who are not so familiar with hockey, a bit like the FC Bayern here in Germany for football or for soccer. And there's now the third challenge that's happening or has been happening this year for 1 week, where students from Carnegie Mellon University have time to make ice hockey a bit safer. And they always get a dedicated challenge on rethinking goalie helmets or dasher boards. And I had the opportunity to witness the very first ice hockey makeathon and to support my colleagues in the United States to set up everything. And Nico was also there. It was a great experience. And I think this is a bit showing what is special about those student collaborations, because the students had such a steep learning curve during this week, but also so much fun in this project-based learning. And Covestro was learning new things. The Pittsburgh Penguins could profit. So it's really going hand in hand, and everybody can learn from each other. And we can all together make the world a brighter place by those projects where we co-create with students and work with them. And for sure, Covestro also is looking for future talents, for future employees. So we're extremely happy if some of the participants, some of the students end up to work with us, but nevertheless, there will be others who don't. And if we just could spark the discussion on smart materials, on circular economy, and keep a connection and find those who didn't decide to work with us sometime as a business partner on one or another value circle we have to work with or we want to work with. And start projects with them is also super great. So it's always a great initiative and a great opportunity to start connections with smart people and future talents.
Yeah. And as we wait for the questions, because of the Friday hiccup, we need to wait a little bit to get the people back on stream. But based on what you just said, Rebecca, I think that's a really important point. And this is where universities probably can also do what they can to spark innovation and great design. The thing that you just mentioned, the Carnegie Mellon University Ice Hockey Makeathon, I felt that the ecosystem of the university, having 3D printers, having production labs, kind of sparked the thinking of the students. And this is something, Kristen, I wanted to ask you. Since your studies, how did you feel the university you attended was kind of helping you? And what would you see as those key enablers? How do universities make people like you successful?
Sure. So during my studies, the university was really great at helping me. Those labs that you're talking about, we have really great 3D printing labs, wood shop, metals, everything that you can think of. And this is London South Bank University, by the way. So post-graduation, it's a bit different because I'm not a student anymore. So while I have a bit more limited access, they're still helping me by giving me 3D printed models, for example, building a frame for me, a rig for me. So it's a bit limited, obviously, because of COVID for everybody, but they've definitely been supporting me in that end. Also, there's a few programs through LSBU that is aimed towards students and graduates, enterprise programs that help you take your idea and grow it into an actual viable business model. Because that's one of the main challenges, right? Oh, I have this great idea. It's going to save the planet. Everyone's going to love it. But can you make money? What are your revenue streams? How are you going to manufacture it? Who's your audience? So it helps turn you into a real business person. So yeah, they've been great. Yeah.
So Rebecca, maybe touching also back on the COVID situation, because the universities are all virtual. The classes, my children who are in the universities, they are taking online classes all the time. So what do you think? What are some of the key elements that you can do to, spur that kind of work in a virtual world? Do you have any ideas?
So for me, what is really, really beneficial is to continue creating networks. And what I definitely like, what we're testing right now within Covestro is a speed dating initiative. And I think those little things are options to create serendipity, options to create connections where you can get feedback, where you can get challenged, and where you can get help to bring your ideas forward. And if we manage to bring such initiatives to our daily lives, I think this is also a point where we can grow not only within Covestro but also beyond company borders, and bring together people that cannot meet each other physically.
Cool. Any tips from your side, Kristen? How to kind of overcome COVID and promoting innovation by young product designers such as yourself? You must be doing online interviews like this all the time.
Every hour. No, just kidding. I think right now during COVID especially, there's a lot of free online resources. You can learn whatever you're interested in. For me, it would be more 3D software, more rendering software, maybe some animation software. Also, I think when people have ideas for a product or just want to try to innovate, they think they need a lot of money to build a prototype. And that's not true. My first prototype, my first, second, and third, I think, were made of cardboard, Amazon cardboard, an X-Acto knife and hot glue, and then my housemate's fan. So, please don't go investing a lot of money into your first prototype. Just get down and dirty, and you can really prove your point that way.
Yeah. And that certainly is something I saw as you shared your demonstration piece. So now I think we are up and running, and we are able to get questions from the audience. Let me put them up on screen. And we have a great question for Kristen. Kristen, what is your next big innovation? Hey, what do you say?
Oh, it's really hard because since I was young, I always had ideas, a couple of times a day. My mom would be really annoyed because I was always bugging her with new ideas. It's hard to know what's a good idea and then what's commercially viable and what's worth your time. Right now, I think Rolo has me quite busy. What I'm looking at, though, is what can Rolo grow into? What are some other avenues that it can develop into? And how can it adapt to fit the same goal, but possibly with different products? So a bit off tangent, but one question I get sometimes is, is this going to fix the air quality in London? And I say, absolutely not. I'm not that great of an engineer. That would be amazing. But if I can produce a few products that help, and then if everyone can produce one or two products that can do their little part in aiding air quality or pollution recycling or plastic recycling, then we can really get somewhere.
Cool. So I think that's also a great question. I mean, you never know what you know your big idea when you get it. I mean, if people would know it beforehand, they would have done it already. We have another question from the audience. Thank you very much. Keep them coming if you have questions. Here it is. Do you use virtual reality services for product design?
No, I'm still a bit green in virtual reality. I have not. I just use CAD, and some rendering software, basic sketching and prototyping, and then some animation to create the video that you saw. I have not used any virtual reality, but I am not at all opposed to it. If you feel like it's something I need, please let me know. Cool.
Maybe, Rebecca, are you planning on using any avatars running around virtual reality models in your idea lab?
So far, not, but we also said we want to have a soft start. So we will really start with very basic equipment, and then we will co-create with our users and learn from our users what they need and what they want. And if they want 3D models, if they want 3D printers, we have to test it and we have to learn and grow together in order to not bring in a setup that we think is beneficial to our users, but develop a setup that our users can or our guests can use best in order to work there.
Yeah. And the third question is in. Thank you for the lively audience. Who is your design icon? You both need to answer this. Kristen goes first.
Sure. Do you know, I've always loved Tadao Ando. He is I believe, Japanese architect. He's a self-taught architect. And his style is very all about minimalism, using these large concrete slabs to just create really a stark atmosphere where you feel quite small and non-important. So I love his designs.
What about you, Rebecca?
I could say Tadao Ando is a great example. I've been to Pavilion or to Little House of Tadao Ando on the Vitra campus, and I really loved how he perceived the house as a framing for the nature that is outside of the house, and he was not looking at the walls, but he was always looking at the pictures he could create when people looked out of the house, and that really inspired me, and I really liked this perspective change on design and architecture.
Cool. And I have to say, I have to switch between Johnny Ive and Alvar Aalto from Finland, so both are very inspiring in their own way. Okay, thanks so much, guys, for both of you taking your time out of your busy schedules. I know, Kristen, you are running from one interview to the other. Rebecca, also thank you very much for your time joining this interview, despite of the couple of hiccups. This is the bundle of live broadcast, but we seem to have recovered quite well. We'll be closely watching, of course, Kristen, your work, and wish you, of course, extremely good luck going forward. And we'll be watching your career as you go forward. And thanks so much, Rebecca, for joining us. Have a great weekend.
Thank you very much for the invitation, Nico.
Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Rebecca. Bye.
So this was the 18th or so episode of Home Office Talks. Thanks again very much for joining and for your great questions. And sorry for the hiccups that inevitably happen, especially appears on a Friday afternoon in the internet. But it's this kind of live interaction which I think really helps to exchange ideas in a human way, as human as possible, despite of not being able to see each other physically. And of course, the global pandemic isn't showing much signs of slowing down, so we keep doing these live casts from various corners of the planet and highlight hopefully interesting developments. So stay tuned for more, stay safe, and keep healthy. Until next time, bye-bye.